Now that we have our insurance, let's make sure our patient is in the system by going to List Patients. Here are all of the patients we have in the system. We don't have any patients right now, so let's add one with the Add New button. In the Patient Details tab, let's put in the patient's last name, first name, and birthday, which are all required. The address is also required, so let's put that in too. Once you start typing, some address suggestions will come up for you to select. The phone numbers, email address, height, weight, and social security fields are all optional, but good to have. The account number is auto-incremented for you, but you can change it if you want. If the patient has a referring or rendering doctor, you can put them in right here. Doctors can only be put in if they are in the doctor list first. If they are not, you can add them to the list from here by clicking on the little doctor icon. When entering a doctor, the last name, first name, and NPI are required. If you want, you can click the NPI button to validate their NPI or click the PAYCOS button to make sure they are enrolled in PAYCOS. After clicking Save, the doctor will now be in the doctor list as well as entered into the box. When entering doctors in the future, their name will pop up as an option when you start typing a name in. The gender is required, so make sure to set that. The following fields in the patient details area are all optional. The account type box displays entries that you set up in the account type list. This is for tracking different types of patients, like patients that usually pay in cash. You can classify those patients as cash accounts, for example. The referral source box will display all the referral sources that you set up in the referral source list. You can use this to track different referral sources. The location, box 32 facility, and illness date boxes will probably not be needed, so let's skip those for now. You can enter codes in the diagnosis codes area if you want those codes to auto-populate on all of the patient's claims. If you leave this area blank, you will have to enter the diagnosis codes manually for each claim. The comments section is just for you. It will not go to the insurance company. You can enter any comments you would like here. If you are using the Accounts Receivable module, the last statement date field will populate. Using the last date, a statement was generated for the patient. We are now done with the patient details area. Let's click on the Primary Insurance tab and hit Yes to save. This area is where you can add the patient's primary insurance. Let's click on New Insurance. The insurance company name box will suggest options for you based on what you type in. Please keep in mind that the insurance you want to add to the patient has to already be in the insurance list. We do already have our Medicare insurance though, so let's select that one. Go ahead and put in the insured ID number in this box. Here you are able to also verify the patient's insurance eligibility. Below the eligibility button, you can check same or similar information for Medicare patients. If you have a group number or prior authorization number, you can put them here. Then select the relationship to insured. That information will populate over here on the right. If you want, you can add coverage effective dates. These will prevent you from billing a date of service from outside those dates. Then hit Save. Now the patient's primary insurance has been added. If we click on the Secondary Insurance tab, we can add the patient's secondary insurance the exact same way. If the patient has a rental or recurring item, you can set that up in this tab. We will cover the rentals and recurring items in more depth in another video. The Patient Notes section is where you can add notes to the patient. If you add a date and a time to the note, it turns into a reminder that will pop up at that date and time. If you are using the Accounts Receivable module, the Accounts Receivable History section at the bottom is where you can see that patient's charge history at a glance. There is a bigger Accounts Receivable History section, which we will show you more in depth in another video. Down in the bottom left, there is a Print Forms/Certificates button. If you click it, you can see many pre-made forms that you can use. If you select one and click View PDF, the form will come up in a new tab with your company's information and the patient's information already filled out. Please make sure your browser allows pop-ups. You can type in the form, draw on the form, and if the form has an electronic signature section like this one, you can click on it and draw or type in a signature. If you have our EMR add-on feature, you can save this form directly into the patient's online documents folder, which will be covered in another video. Of course, you can always save or print out forms from here as well. If we back out, we can see the little EMR add-on button at the bottom. Let's click Save. The patient has now been added to your patient list.